Hi, everyone. Um, we will begin now. We're just letting the last few people in. Thanks very much for joining our webinar today. We're delighted to have you all here and to take the time out of your schedules to learn more about the supply chain and logistics skills development supports available in our region for companies. So my name is Siobhan Bradley and I am manager of the Southwest Regional Skills Forum. We work with companies on an ongoing basis of all types and sizes on their skills and their upskilling needs. And we signpost them then to supports available across education and training to help get those needs addressed. We ourselves have noticed over the last number of years an increase in demand from companies for supply chain and logistics skills, in particular HGV driving, warehouse operations, planners, supply chain and transport managers. We've observed challenges on the recruitment side, but also an increased interest and uptake of companies on the skills development supports to upskill their own staff and help with recruitment and retention. And we're delighted to host this event as part of the National Supply Chain and Logistics Week, which is putting a spotlight on the opportunities across that sector and the very many supports to help those working in that sector across a range of areas. On the education and training side itself, there has been a significant increase in funding supports and program provision to help develop the skills that companies need. And we're delighted to have the speakers here today. We're packaging it into a one-stop kind of learn what's there to help you. And we're delighted to have the speakers Mary Manning from the Cork College of Further Education and Training, Conor O'Sullivan from the Kerry College of Further Education and Training, and they're going to speak on the HGV driving and warehouse operations courses, which could provide a very good special recruitment source for companies. Then we're moving on to Anna Gorica, who is the Logistics Apprenticeship Manager, and that program runs out of MTU in Cork. And again, it's a great and a newer support for employers on both the recruitment and the retention front. And Sylvia Gardino then from Dawn Meets, as a user of the apprenticeship, they're going to give an update of how that program has helped on their skills development front. Then we are moving on to Dr. Jane O'Keefe from MTU in Cork, who's going to speak through supply chain and transport management courses that they have at level 7 and 8. And these programs can be taken part-time, so are a great upskilling source for staff across companies. And she'll also speak briefly then on the biopharma supply chain management and a certain customs compliance that they also have. And finally, but by no means least, we'll go to Dr. Seamus O'Reilly from the Department of Food Business and Development in UCC, who will speak on the diploma and supply chain that they have at master's level. So we're stepping through all of the levels, all of the supports that are there. We've asked the employers, so we don't bombard you, or the providers, just to highlight the main aspects of the program, the type of staff that they would suit. And then we will open up the session at the end for any questions and answers. You can type them into the box or raise your hand. And I think with that, we will kick off and we'll hand the floor over to Mary Manning.
Great, thank you very much, Siobhan. As Siobhan said, my name is Mary Manning and I work in Cork College of Vet, based here in the Bishopstown campus on Ross Avenue. And for the purpose of this programme, I'm just going to talk about 4 courses that we do. And we're just starting with the first one, which is Warehouse Ops. It's a 10-week full-time day course. And all the courses I'm speaking about today are full-time and day courses. But the Warehouse Ops, a supervisor or planning to be a supervisor, working in the warehouse environment. So we do the PQI level 5 special purpose water warehousing, and we do the RTITB, which is road transport industry, transport board, counterbalance truck and reach truck, and then a little bit of health and safety in a first aid 2-day program. So it's quite an intense And that's for, as Siobhan said earlier, for the supervisor or potential supervisor possibly in a warehouse. The next program we would then look at would be the rigid, which is our HGV driver, never so much in demand. Again, it's a full-time 10-week program, and we go right through from the CPC right through to the actual test. And we normally try and schedule the test on the very last week of the program. So they will walk out of here either with their license or about to get their license. But for this person, they would do the CPC. We would also do HazChem. We're based here in Cork, where there's a lot of chemicals, and we think that's a very good thing to set us a feature for our learners to have when they're going for job hunting, to have that. And we would do again the forklifting, the counterbalance pallet truck, and a little bit of first aid, the 3-day first aid program, and the most important thing of all, the rigid license itself. So again, no fees. We do this a multiple time of the years. For instance, in rigid, we're doing one finishing in August and finishing in December. So they would start in May, finish in August. So a relatively brief period of time from that particular program. The next program, just as an overview, would be the very basic 4-week RTITB course, which is designed for somebody who really wants to start off working in a warehouse facility. So again, basic level entry, somebody who would be coming in, who would be working in a busy warehousing environment, and we would feel that they would have the counterbalance, the reach, and the pedestrian truck, and a little bit of first aid, a little bit of CV preparation, a little bit of confidence boosting people. And once they complete that program, which is 4 weeks in duration, they would, they'd be ready to work in a busy warehousing environment, whether from that point of view. And the final one we want to talk about is our Arctic truck, and that is designed for somebody who already possibly has a rigid license and wants to upskill themselves for an Arctic. A little bit of CPC, which is required, a little bit of first aid 3-day program, a little bit of RTI program, again based here full time. It's a 4-week-long program, very much focused on, at the end of it, they would work as an Arctic driver going forward and working in the environment. We will facilitate any employer who wants to come in and maybe meet the companies during the lifetime of the programs, whether that come on, some of this is talk and talk courses, so we do it through Teams or Zoom or Adobe Connect, our learning platform, or they actually will physically come in here to the class. For instance, I have my HGV drivers just across the classroom over that I'm looking at, which is doing their first aid program today, their 3-day first aid course. So anybody who wants to come in and meet them, or if they want to pass on any information for leads, for they have jobs for any of these courses at all, they can always pass them on to myself, and I liaise with the company who delivers this service on our behalf, and marry up hopefully the potential jobs with the potential employers and see how they get on. Did I stick to my 5 minutes, Siobhan? I probably
You were brilliant.
But I'm finished.
Well done, Mary. So look, there's a great recruitment source there for companies across some of the key roles where they're reporting difficulties in sourcing staff. So if there's any questions for Mary then on that, we can take them at the end, and we will share all presentations at the end as well, so you'll have the details and the contact details. And next we'll move on to Con, because Kerry ETB would deliver a number of these courses locally as well. So maybe Con, you can chat through your offering.
Yeah, certainly. So my name is Con O'Sullivan, just very briefly. I'm the campus manager at Kerry College, Mona Valley campus. So I suppose specific to today's grouping, there are 2 courses in particular that we offer training on all year round. We've multiple intakes running throughout the year. They're short courses, and as Mary would have referred to, we've the HGV Rigid, which is 8 weeks in duration. Again, the certification on it is the CPC and the hazard chemical training as well. So you get professional certification off of this. It's important though just to look to the right of the screen there, just the entry requirements for people coming onto the course. There are thresholds that people need to meet, and they're coming onto the course, completing a CAB test, having junior cert or equivalent, and be 18 years of age or more, and the full category B license. I suppose this course, in addition to the Arctic course that we run as well, we're very happy for employers who want to canvass opportunities with their own companies to reach out to myself, maybe in the first instance, and my contact details are at the bottom of the slide. And as Siobhan said, that's going to be circulated to all after the meeting today. We're more than happy to syndicate off any information in regarding employment opportunities that you may have. It's also worth maybe considering for persons or groupings of persons here today who may be, I suppose, located in a similar geographical area. If you have a campaign that you want to action in terms of actively trying to recruit for people who may not have or who won't have the qualifications, but you're looking to recruit them with a view to training them, we can certainly step in there as well and partner up with yourselves in training with that, and we'll take on the burden of the cost of that training. They're quite expensive courses to run, and we have a couple of intakes for both throughout the year. We have another intake for both this course and the next course starting in the summer, midway through the summer as well. So the next slide on then I think is the HGV Arctic. Again, 6 weeks in duration, this particular course, professional certification with the CPC and the RSA. Again, the entry requirements on this particular one, 21 years of age or older. They have to have their full category C driver license. They'll have to pass a cab test. Obviously, we're looking at in more detail in terms of spatial awareness as well. We run multiple intakes throughout the year. It's a full-time course, as is the previous course as well. But we're very happy to partner up with employers, groups of employers in geographical areas to schedule up courses that are, I suppose, more timely to the employers themselves, and very, very much open to having companies, opening the door for companies to come in to talk to existing classes, and even sending emails and communications off to past graduates to see if they're in the industry, if they're considering a career change, and so on and so forth, and make the introductions there. Again, contact details are on the bottom of both of the slides, and more than happy to engage with anyone outside of the meeting here if they want to just come and have a chat and explore what options are there. That's me done, Siobhan.
That's great, Con. Thanks very much. And again, an excellent recruitment source in addressing one of the skills needs that we would be hearing from across a lot of Kerry companies as well. So if there's any questions for Con and Mary, we'll take them at the end, and we will move on next to Anna, who is the National Apprenticeship manager for the logistics apprenticeship, which is running out of MTU Cork, and she'll chat through that now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for introduction, Siobhan. I'm delighted to be here and talk about the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Program. So just briefly about my role as a project manager is to provide employers with the information about the program, but also assisting employers with registering for the apprenticeship and facilitating the training part of the program within the business, and also connecting employers with candidates who are looking to become an apprentices and looking for work placements. And next slide, please. So before I'm going to tell you more about the program itself, I just want to mention quickly about the apprenticeship system here in Ireland. So currently there are almost 70 apprenticeship programs available here in Ireland, and those include the craft and non-craft apprenticeship programs. And almost 9,000 employing organizations are using apprenticeship scheme to attract new talent to the business, but also using the apprenticeship to upskill their own employees in the business. And currently there are over 26 apprentices undertaking apprenticeship here in Ireland. Next slide, please. So this apprenticeship was developed on the foot of recommendations in expert group on future skill needs reports. And these reports highlighted critical skills gap in the logistics and supply chain sector, and also forecasted a potential demand for 45,000 new entrants to freight transport, distribution and logistics roles over the years 2015 and 2025. So the need for intervention to raise the profile of the sector, upskill existing employees, recruit new talent, and develop the apprenticeship program to facilitate a pathway into the sector were among the recommendations made. Next slide. So in terms of the background of the program, so we are one of the new apprenticeship programs. We're a non-craft apprenticeship program. And the program itself was validated back in May 2018. And already in September 2018, we started the first class of logistics apprentices in the former DIT, which currently it's Technological University Dublin. So initially in September 2018, we welcomed 27 logistics apprentices to the program and had 17 employers who were approved and registered to deliver the training part of the program in their organization. Next slide, please. The unique piece about apprenticeship itself is that it's entirely led by the industry. So in terms of how the program runs, the structure, the content of the modules, and so on, this is all dictated by the industry. And on our consortium, we have all the professional bodies that are representing representing the industry. Next slide, please. And also employers and universities we work with, which is Technological University Dublin and MTU Cork. So as I mentioned, we have members, we meet on the quarterly basis to review the program, make sure it delivers and it stays up to date, and so on. Next slide, please. So last September, we had our 5th intake, and since 2018, we currently have 98 companies registered and being approved to deliver the training part of the program within their organizations. And as you can see, we couldn't fit in on list all the employers we've been working with, but the companies we work with, they represent the link, or I suppose every supply chain aspect. So there's a huge interest in the program. Every week we have new companies, I suppose, expressing their interest and registering with the program. And also within the last 5 years, we have enrolled 302 logistics apprentices into the LAA, and that's across 2 universities, MTU Cork and TU Dublin. Next slide, please. So in terms of the program overview and structure, so this is a 2-year program, and on successful completion of the program, apprentices get awarded with the level 6, QQI level 6, higher certificate in logistics. We have intake once a year, and the next intake is in September 2023. And TU Dublin City Campus and also MTU Cork campus are the education providers for this apprenticeship. Next slide, please. So the academic program is delivered over 2 years. As I've mentioned, it runs from September till May inclusive. And during the academic term, apprentices will spend 1 day per week attending classes. We're actually delivering the program in the hybrid mode. So it's the apprentice is required to travel to university every 2nd week. And every other week, the classes are delivered online. That just reduces the number of trips apprentice has to travel to the college campus. So the remaining 4 days, apprentices stay in the workplace to complete work-based learning. So there is a broad range of logistics modules, case studies, interactive presentations, exercises, and also we have guest speakers from the industry that take part in the classes. And obviously the most important component of this program is the work-based learning that is taking place in the employing organization. So during the 2-year program, apprentices have to complete a weekly reflective journal where they need to record what they learn on the job. All those reflective journals needs to be signed off by a mentor. So every apprentice has to be assigned with the work-based mentor. And it would be somebody within the organization who holds a minimum supervisory position. And the role of the mentor is to guide and provide support to the apprentice throughout the program. Also to support employing organizations and new mentors, both universities run mentor training, and this training is certified. We hold 3 training sessions. They are delivered online, and those mentors who would like to submit an assignment on their mentorship journey and experience, they can do so, and they can achieve certification at QQI level 6. And this is a free program as well, another benefit for employing organizations. Next slide, please. So in terms of the program content, the modules that are being delivered by the universities in year 1 are logistics and supply chain management, customer service, communication and professional skills, customs and international trade, and logistics information systems. In the year 2, modules are road, air, sea freight logistics, distribution and warehousing, quantitative analysis and Excel. And the big part of the year 2 is also that apprentice has to complete a work-based project. So that's another benefit for the businesses, that they can get involved in the projects that companies run or are involved currently in, and so on. So as you can see, this program is very rich. It covers all aspects of logistics. So apprentices get a really good overview of the industry, and they can be also moved within different departments in the employing organization, so they can get good understanding how departments are connected, how do they work with each other, and what the business is all about and how it runs, and so on. Next slide, please. So this program is very much designed for school graduates. So for those students who are sitting the Leaving Cert exams, and instead of going to university and doing the full-time course, they can still access the fair level education with our apprenticeship. But also is designed for mature students, career changers, and employers can also place on the program existing employees for the upskilling purpose. And we have a mix of those candidates on the programs. We have even supervisors, managers that are doing the apprenticeship with us for the qualification purpose. Next slide, please. In terms of entry requirements for apprentices, so really important aspect. So for companies, when they're selecting candidates for this apprenticeship, they need to ensure that candidates meets one of those entry criteria. And just to keep it really simple, the first one is that the candidate has to pass in English and maths at minimum ordinary level in the Leaving Cert, but also holders of the QQI level 5 or level 6. So if somebody hasn't sat the Leaving Cert exams, but let's say they've done the course through the colleges of further education or any other training for education training boards, and like I said, they hold a certification at level 5 minimum, they can also enter the apprenticeship through this route. And the final entry is through recognition of prior learning. So this applies to mature students. It has to be somebody 23 years old or older, and has to have a relevant work portfolio. So like I said, this program is very much designed for people who are already working in the sector, and they have years of experience working in the industry, but they don't have a qualification to allow them to progress. So this apprenticeship facilitates this progression path. Next slide, please. For employers, very, very straightforward. If you decide to register, you can contact me and I will arrange with Solus to get you registered and so on. The registration process is very much straightforward. Solus will most likely like to visit your offices just to make sure that there are proper facilities, and you can provide the computer, a desk for the apprentice and so on, and you can facilitate the training part of the program within your organization. So it's very, very straightforward. The visit usually lasts around 45 minutes. You will be asked to complete Solus employer suitability to train apprentices form. And once the company is registered with Solus for this apprenticeship, you can then recruit and place candidates on the program anytime you wish to do so. Next slide, please. So as I've mentioned, just in terms of registration process, if any of the employers who would be interested to register with the LAA, please do contact me. My contact information will be on the last slide, and also Siobhan has my contact information, and I will be able to assist you and so on. Next slide. So in terms of the recruitment, and that actually is to do with the external candidate. So if your company is looking to recruit new talent into your business, how we can assist you, or how we've been working with the employers. So we have our own dedicated website for this apprenticeship, where we have our jobs and latest news section. So any employers who are looking to recruit external candidates, we kind of join the force and assist them with advertisement, and also connecting them with the candidates we have on our database. And also we advertise for our social media channels. We have lots of partners we work with, such as career portals, where we have our own section dedicated for the LAA. So also when you're looking to recruit, we will advertise on your behalf on that website. And what's really interesting about them is that they have a direct link with the career guidance teachers here in Ireland, and they work with all the secondary schools here across Ireland. So when you're recruiting and you're looking to take apprentices, that advertisement, that your job spec will go directly also to the schools. So they do monthly and weekly newsletters and so on. So they will advertise this for you. Also, we work very closely with Jobs Ireland team. They have an apprenticeship section now available on their website. So if the company would like to recruit, we ask them, please submit a job spec, and we will advertise on your behalf on all those platforms. Also, when the company is being approved to deliver the training part of the program and being registered with Solus, They can also access a free jobs portal on the Generation Apprenticeship website, and they can also advertise through that portal. So this is all free recruitment and advertisement. Like I said, we have candidates who are registering their interest to become an apprentices, and they're looking actively for a work placement. So we have a database of those candidates. So the same, when the company is advertising, we will notify those candidates, and those candidates then can directly apply with the companies that they're currently recruiting. Next slide, please. In terms of fees and funding, so the tuition part of the program is funded by the Higher Education Authority. The only cost is the annual registration fee, which is payable to the university by apprentice. So the obligation of paying that fee lies with the apprentice. Currently, it's €800 per year per apprentice, and this fee hasn't changed since 2018. But also there is a state grant available to employers, to apprenticeship employers. And currently this is €2,000 per employed apprentice per year. So overall it's a €4,000 per candidate placed on the LAE program. Next slide, please. So in terms of the salary, so when you have an apprentice in your workplace, if it's existing employee, it's very straightforward. You have a contract of employment with that person, the salary is set. So this is very straightforward. But in terms of when you are taking an external candidate, a company needs to offer that candidate an apprenticeship contract for a period of 2 years. And it's the company who determines the salary of the apprentice. The minimum wage, that's what the company is obliged to pay, but it's entirely up to the employer in terms of the salary rate. Next slide, please. So overall, what the benefits are for the companies. Apprenticeships are a proven way to attract new talent into the business. They offer upskilling and career progression opportunities for existing staff, help with building loyalty among staff, with succession planning, increases pool of qualified people within the business. And the key strength about the program is that it is built around work-related experience and work-specific projects. So as I mentioned, the free certified mentor training is provided by the universities to support employing organization. It's tuition-free program, which reduces your training cost. And also you have apprenticeship state funding available for €4,000 for apprentice you employ. Next slide. For candidates, for apprentices, it's a very, very rich package because when they complete the program, they get awarded with the QQI level 6 higher certificate in logistics. It's internationally recognized qualification, and it also offers them an opportunity to move on and progress to the level 7 degree programs and so on. They earn a salary, they earn a full-time salary as they learn. They access fair level education, so they get to go to the university. They're getting 2-year employment contract with a host employer, which very often when the apprenticeship ends, all of those or most of the apprentices stay with the host employer, and that's the goal of the employing organization. The reason why they take apprentices into their organization is because they want to, they investing their time and money to training somebody, and they want to retain this talent. But also apprentice gains valuable on-the-job experience, workplace skills, and has excellent career opportunities in this vibrant sector. And after completing the apprenticeship, they have a relevant work experience, they have a qualification, and they're fully employable. Next slide, please. So just quickly mention about some initiatives SOLAS also runs in terms of when you become involved in the apprenticeships. They run on the yearly basis Employer of the Year awards. Every year we have companies, logistics companies who are being nominated. And just recently, last year, Upcon Industrial, one of the employers we work with, and they're facilitating the LA program in their organization, won Employer of the Year awards. And there's a lot of PR around this event. Also, awards are usually presented by the ministers. So great to get involved. And I always encourage and inform employers when this happens. Next slide, please. Also, there's an annual Generation Apprenticeship Apprentice of the Year award now. And also they're planning to introduce the Mentor of the Year awards and so on. So last year we had 10 apprentices, logistics apprentices being nominated for this award. And they've been also presented with the Outstanding Achievement Certificate. Next slide, please. We internally run also awards for the Best Work-Based Project and Best Logistics Apprentice. to our apprentice graduates. So those apprentices being awarded for excellence and so on. So we invite them to the university, their mentors, and the HR representation to witness presentation of the awards and so on. Next slide, please. We have so anybody who would like to hear from the employers, I know we have Sylvia here. She is gonna discuss or tell, I suppose, her perspective about the program. So we can just move on, but it's available on our website. Next slide, please. Yeah, we won also, the program won some awards. Recently, we've been nominated, or we won the communication award for all the efforts and all the informative campaign we ran to promote careers in logistics and the industry as well. So we very much engage with secondary schools. We travel across Ireland to talk about logistics and so on. But also we won a Logistics and Transport Team of the Year back in 2019, and also we won the Innovation Award at Fleet Transport Awards in 2019. Next slide. For more information on our website, employers can download the dedicated guide for employers. Next slide. And also, as I've mentioned, on our job section, we advertise on behalf of the employers. So yeah, as soon as somebody sends us the job spec, this is being advertised and so on. Next slide, please. So we are currently open, and we are currently recruiting employers and apprentices for September 2023. So this is the good time to get registered as a company, as an employing organization, to facilitate the training part of the program, and we can assist you with, like I've mentioned, recruiting candidates and so on. So please get in touch. And I think my next slide is all my contact information. Yeah, so if you would like to take a note, but all the contact informations are available on our website as well. Perfect. So now, I suppose with a great pleasure, I'd like to welcome and introduce you to Sylvia Gaudino. She's the Head of Learning and Development at Downmeets. Sylvia has kindly agreed to join me at this webinar to provide testimonials about the apprenticeship and its benefits. So the company Downmeets registered with the LAA back in 2021. And since then, the company has enrolled 7 apprentices on the program. Over to you, Sylvia. Thank you.
Thank you. So we do have a short slide deck. Are you going to share that? Yep, great. Okay, so for anybody, so first of all, I'd like to say thanks to Anna, and I would also like to say that we got involved with the logistics apprenticeship program about 2021. We knew nothing about it, and Anna was crucial in our understanding of the program, and she held our hand through registration and assisted us with getting up and running. So making that contact with Anna is an important part of the step. So for anybody that doesn't know anything about Dawn, I just thought we'd give you a quick view of who we are. So I'm based here in Grana in Waterford, and we have 8 locations in Ireland, one of which is a transport hub in Dublin, and then we would also have transport and logistics on each of our sites, because we are an exporter of meat nationwide into the UK and across Europe and the continent. So logistics, planning and freight is an integral and niche part of our business. Next slide, please. So we employ 7,500 employees, and we have 8 locations here in Ireland and 13 locations in the UK. And then we would have offices in Europe, and we export to over 40 countries. So logistics, as I said, is a key part of what we do. Next slide, please. So these are some of our business areas. So Downmeets, the Premier Butcher, Dunbia. You will see our brand around. Next slide, please. So these are some of our customers. So you'll recognize some brands there. You won't recognize all of them, as some of them are in Europe. Next slide, please. You know, our people, we invest heavily in our people, and the logistics program is one of the programs available to our employees on the career path. So next slide, please. And you know, Anna mentioned that about the awards. We did put people in for the Logistics and Apprenticeship Awards, and we attended. We were shortlisted, and we had a great night up in the Mansion House. But we're constantly looking at, you know, what's happening in the market and where we can participate and add value to what we're doing within the business. Next slide, please. So next slide, please. So just to talk a little bit about the LLA program then. So as I said, we first got involved in 2021. Transport and logistics is a key part of our business. So all of our sites would have planners and people working in logistics, transport, receiving in goods and distribution goods out of the sites. So it's an area that we saw within the business that was an area that we needed to have good people working in that area. We needed to up skills, knowledge and competencies in the area, and this program was ideal for that purpose. So we see it as an excellent way to offer an upskill opportunity to existing staff, and we also see it as an opportunity to attract new people into the business. To date, we have primarily upskilled existing staff. So all of the logistics apprenticeships came in as general operatives, and within our career path in the business, we identified an opportunity for them to upskill through this program. The specific learning outcomes are very relevant to our business. The program outline that Anna went through fits in perfectly to what we need our people to do. So it's ideal. The ability to have, opportunities for general operatives to step onto and build a career with us is a key part of our retention program. So we participate in the LAA apprenticeship program, but we also have other programs that we participate in as well. The new generation apprenticeships are excellent in the way that they are 4 days on the job and 1 day released to college. That really does give a lovely balance in terms of the participant working alongside mentors and working within the business, learning the business, and then going and having their college experience. Next slide, please. So I've missed one because Anna mentioned that we have 7, I think, but I only have 6 here. The other thing I suppose to mention is that this apprenticeship is very much there's good representation in terms of female participation on the program, because the skills, knowledge and competencies that they learn on the job, the access for female apprenticeships is it fits in lovely with our career path to have a high representation of females within our apprenticeship program. So as you can see there, we do have 2 females working through the program at the moment. It's an excellent opportunity to build a good psychological contract with new young people coming into the business who haven't gone the academic route but do want to have a career. So we see it as being excellent in terms of building that relationship from an early point and retaining staff. The program is built around work-related experience and work-specific projects, as Anna mentioned, so it fits in lovely with our business. Next slide. So it's a 2-year program, and our staff, as I said, we've primarily put people on who were already with us, so they were already in a contract with us, and it's a part of their career development. The fact that it's based out of TU Dublin and MTU Cork really is great, because the programs are on different days. in the different colleges, which means that we're able to create a nice balance in that, you know, some of our apprentices are out of the business on one day and others are out on another day. And also because our spread is across Ireland, up as far as Ballyhaunis and down here as far as Waterford and in between. So it enables us to kind of direct people to their nearest college. Next slide, please. So I suppose Anna has mentioned the funding, etc., and it's a small part of our decision making in relation to bringing the LAA on board. Really, for us, it was all about having opportunities for existing staff to step onto attracting new staff and bringing additional skills, knowledge, and competencies into the business. However, the 2,000 annual funding does go to cover the cost of the registration. And sometimes these things can be complicated, but actually it's very streamlined and very easy to do on the NAO portal. You simply just go in, you register your apprentices is registered in the portal, and there's 5 steps that you just click on to apply for your funding, which is very straightforward. The support in relation to mentors as well, it's enabled. We do mentor training within our business anyway, because we would have graduate programs and other apprenticeship programs that we're running, but certainly being able to step on and add more mentors to the business has been, another excellent feature of the program. And the support in relation to advertising. So we do advertise. With Anna and her team, and again, that's helps us to attract in new talent. Next slide, please. The other areas, so this is about the new LAA apprenticeship, but we, getting familiar with the LAA apprenticeship has enabled us to understand the process better. Now we have branched out into other areas. So, for example, we are doing new generation accounting technician, we're looking at new generation recruitment specialist, and we have always done craft apprenticeships. So, these are loads of niche areas within the business that we're able to create career paths for existing employees or attract in new talent. Next slide, please. That's it from me. If you have any questions, please feel free to, contact Anna, or equally drop me an email, and I'll be happy to come back to you on that.
That's great, Sylvia and Anna. Thanks very much. It's fabulous to see how the apprenticeship has taken off and the volume of employers taking it. I am conscious that we have 2 more speakers to get through, so we will go straight into Jane O'Keefe now from MTU.
Thank you.
As the slides are coming up there, so thank you indeed for organising this session, Siobhan, and for inviting myself and MTU along, to be sure. So just showing you here, this is logistics supply chain management courses, and we're looking basically, these programs I'm presenting are the part-time programs which are delivered by the NMCI, the National Maritime College of Ireland, which is a subsidiary college of MTU. Okay, so just next slide, please. So what I'm showing here is basically we have 4 programs, right? We have 2 degree programs, one at level 7, one at level 8, and we also have 2 certificates. So the 2 degree programs are the Bachelor of Business in Supply Chain and Transport Management, level 7, 60 credits. It's I'll give you the details now in a minute on that. And we also then have the next step up is our Bachelor of Business in Global Supply Chain Management, 60 credits again, and there's a course code there as well. The certificates then that we run, these are kind of micro credentials, I guess, in a way. The first one there is certificate in customs and global trade management, and that's a level 7. that's at level 7, which would be like a jump up. We've covered level 6, so those folks who have finished level 6 can easily move into the level 7s, and that's 10 credits. And then we also have a certificate in biopharmaceutical supply chain management at level 8. So I'll just go into the details really on the level 7 in particular, and a little bit on the level 8. So the next slide, please. Right, so this is the Bachelor of Business, as we said, in Supply Chain Transport Management. So we've been running this successfully. I think it's the 16th year at this stage, right? So it's a fantastic course, right? We have 12 modules, 5 credits per module. It's very evenly based, and like with supply chain, you know, you have basically you have the startup. As I say, you have the sourcing of material. You know, it can be the Far East, it can be local, it can be whatever. So the students get an understanding of that, and from the sourcing right down to the customer satisfaction, right? Getting that product out to the customer. So it's end to end in the supply chain. So we have modules all the way along, and very much then what's involved in those modules as well is communication skills. So we really, you know, hone communication skills with our students, and we have like, I think about 30 or 40% of the actual assessment is like presentation skills, is very much focused on how they would get their message across within the industry context. And that's so important in supply chain logistics and just in industry in general. It's 2 semesters. Recruitment basically starts from now on, and the students will start in September and they're finished then in May. It's blended learning. It would, at one stage, it would have been obviously 100% down at the NMCI college, and so forth. And it's 1 evening per week and Saturdays. And now it's blended. So we have alternate Saturdays. Everybody comes down to the NMCI, and we have our other courses as well. So it's great for networking. The folks and all the lecturers can meet and network them with the students. So it's usually, the day flies, right? It's not a long day. It really goes very quickly. The admission requirements, I've just laid them out here. So here the qualification is a 1-year, we call a step-up degree for participants, and it's really the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, you know, a level 6 qualification there. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship, so those folks coming off the LAA that Anna and Sylvia were talking at length about there, those guys come on to us onto level 7, right? And they're well able, and you know, the journey continues for them, right? Or there's the IPMM. There's lots of graduates out there on higher cert, some of them even maybe at level 7, and now want to really move into the supply chain area and so forth, or an equivalent level 6. So even if somebody has a level 6 in another discipline, but maybe they have a lot of experience and they're working, be it in planning, procurement, whatever, then, you know, then we have this RPL process that, as I mentioned at the end. And with, you know, MTU really kind of developed that, I think about nearly 12 years ago at this stage. So we work with our RPL group, and it's on a case-by-case basis, and it's very carefully done, right? Because we don't want to, you know, there's no point in letting a student in if they're not able for the course either, and we want them to do well. So we watch that process there very carefully. So next slide, please. And again, the benefits. So we're saying here, for those that do our course, you know, they will. It's a secure, challenging area. I mean, supply chain is just an exciting area to work in, to be sure, and it's fulfilling, and it allows folks to basically progress through their careers and, you know, go for improvement and so forth. And also then their knowledge and their skills is expanded. And as we say, really that the progression then for the level 7 is to move on to the level 8. So next slide, please. So just very quickly on the level 8 then, this is our honours degree in global supply chain management. It's run over 3 semesters. So there's 25 credits in semester 1 up to Christmas, then in semester 2 brings the folks up to May. And within that then there's a small research dissertation that they have until the end of August to actually submit, right? And they have a one-to-one supervision, then a supervisor that works with them like on that research dissertation. And typically it's based on a work-based project, right? So again, they're bringing a lot back into their company, and it's worked extremely well. Admission then is normally, which is fairly normal for a level 8 degree, it's like you know, a grade second class honours 0.2 or higher, or equivalents then And again, it's across industries. We get folks that come in from it could be from the finance sector, from engineering and so forth, or IT, and that are maybe working on supply chain, and they want the qualification. They want the background and the knowledge and the theory behind what they're trying to do in a very exciting area. And again, we have our RPL process. So just next slide there. I think we're nearly done. Yeah, look, this is just contact information. So as I say, we run all these programs from the National Maritime College, which is part of NTU. And there's contact information there. Look, there's our admissions office, or there's myself. And then with all our programs from the point of view of applications and so forth, they're the links for your employees and whatnot to apply in. So any questions? I know we're at time here, but I mean, we can hold the questions then at the end. So thanks, Siobhan.
Thanks, Jane. That's great. And if you want to put questions into the chat box, we can even follow up afterwards on them. So please do, if there's questions that are coming to mind throughout the presentations. And now we'll move to Seamus from UCC.
Thank you, Siobhan, and hello to all. And it's great to see this session and the progression all the way through. So I just can neatly pick up from you, Jane, and talk about the postgraduate offering. So that's a level 9 offering. So it's offered by Cork University Business School in UCC. There's both a postgraduate diploma, and you can progress on to an MSc in supply chain management. And embedded within this is a Lean Black Belt project, which I'll explain in a moment. So the one slide only. So it is important that people get time for questions. So I'll be brief and maybe speak to a couple of the points that you had highlighted, Siobhan. The duration of the postgraduate diploma, both are part-time, is 1.5 academic years or 18 months. And then if you want to progress on to the MSc, it's another 6 months. So the MSc is 2 years in duration, part-time. The fees you can see down here, and if the slides are circulated, maybe that's a live link. You also have the link up here to all the detail. So the fees for the 2 years is about 14,000. It's about 11,000 for the postgraduate diploma. Importantly, in terms of delivery, it's a 50-50 blended learning program. So half of the contact time is on campus and the other half is online. The contact time on campus means 19 days in total over the 1.5 years for the postgraduate diploma. And we usually do that in 3-day block release sessions, Thursdays to Saturdays. So that rolls up as every second month during semester, people tend to be on campus. So we have a very strong blended learning piece and experiential learning piece. So there's a lot of workplace learning involved. And that's where the Black Belt project and 7 module assignments link directly into the workplace and create this experiential learning experience for the participant. So criteria to enter, we do have a path for people that have a degree qualification like Jane was outlining there at level 8, honours degree with experience, but we're particularly interested in a path where people come in with just their portfolio of professional experience. So maybe 2 points, Siobhan, then to conclude the subject areas. Yes, supply chain strategy and design, key issues that we're tackling today in business, sustainability, digitization, resilience. We take a process-based approach to it, hence our interest in Lean and the Black Belt project, which delivers significant monetary value, but also learning value for the participants and the companies. In the middle, we have leadership, because that's the key really to achieving all of this. And that's the personal development, the ability to run teams, but in particular for the type of people that we're interested in benefiting from this program, moving from a functional to a business level, so that the fact-based communication that resonates with the senior management team. They're very equipped at the process level in terms of performance management and all different levels of that. So finally, our class size is around 18 to 24. It's very participative during the sessions, lots of breakout learnings. And then just to give you a sense of the type of people that we have on the program, you have a list there that I don't need to go through. We're planners, people involved in supply chain analyst role increasingly, but also production supervisors, the logistics piece. Always great to have quality people there, usually have some of them, creates for good discussion, and sometimes finance, which is even better. And sometimes we have sales there as well, which adds to a great classroom dynamic. So hopefully that's short enough, Siobhan. You have some time for questions, and I'm sure there are some for the breadth of programs that you had there.
That's great, Seamus. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone. It's great to see the range of programs and the offerings at different levels, I suppose, to meet the different backgrounds of different people across companies. So if there are a few questions, you can raise your hand and the speakers are very happy to answer them or put them into the chat box. We hope that you found the information useful so far. So please feel free if there are now. We'll give a minute or two. And as I say, we will share all of the presentations with everyone after the session. So you will have all of the details and the contact details for the speakers. And we will put you in touch with anyone either if there's any supports at all like that you need. Okay. We are just getting, thank you very much for the session. So interesting and informative and so on. Excellent presentations. Thanks to everyone for joining and so on. So it looks like we will get to finish at exactly 1300 as originally planned, and we will get all those presentations to you this afternoon. And please do follow up with any of the education and training providers. They're delighted to help and assist however they can. And yes, hopefully there'll be a whole new skills base in the Southwest from those at the session attending the session today.